Hey guys, good evening and thanks for joining. So in the last class, we have seen about couple of servers. Those servers are Active Directory, domain controller, and also we have seen about file server, then database server and application server. And also in our existing class, we discussed about DNS and DHCP. Okay, so that is prior to yesterday class. So in the today class, what is agenda? So there are three different types of servers are pending. One is Microsoft. Second one is Unix. Third one is SMTP server. Once these servers are completed, then I will go and I will start network architecture diagram. So that is the agenda for today class. So let's start. Microsoft. So Microsoft servers. So you have to differentiate whenever any alert will come. So whether it is end user system like a laptop or maybe MacBook or maybe workstation or desktop. Okay, so or else whether it is a server. So based on the operating system, we can classify whether it is an end user system or server. Okay. So if you know about these operating system versions or model numbers, then only you can classify whether it is an end user system or server, right? So if it is server, instant investigation is different. If it is end user system, instant investigation is different. So why I'm giving in-depth analysis for this one, today also one of the student has come to me and he was asking 2012 is a server or whether it is end user system. Even though I'm teaching in-depth analysis of all these servers and so on, still they are in confusion state. Okay. So you should differentiate what are the different types of Windows servers we have in our organization level, and also different types of end user systems like, okay, so whether it is laptop or maybe workstation or desktop or maybe MacBook also. So based on the model number, based on the operating system version, we can classify or we can identify as a whether it is end user system or server. Okay. So obviously, Microsoft is very popular. Competitor to Microsoft is Unix operating system. Now everywhere is Unix, and so on. Okay. So examples of Microsoft operating system servers. 2008. So this is one of the model number. So once again, in 2008, we have R1 and R2. Release 1 and release 2, R1 and R2. So next one is 2012. Okay. So next one is 2016. Next one is 2018, 2019, 2021. So these are all the couple of servers. It's a part of Microsoft Windows servers. Microsoft Windows servers. So whenever any alert or any incident is contains these type of server, we have to identify this one as a server. 2008, 2012, 2016, 18, 19, 21. So all these are servers. If it is server got compromised, okay, so then our business impact analysis, risk assessment, and also containment, nothing but network isolation, even instant investigation is different. Just like that, we should not go and we should not do the network isolation or containment. Why? Because we have to think about even, okay, even we have to think about our, okay, so what is the availability as per CAA triad, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. If server is got compromised, okay, so single person or single user or single entity is not, okay, getting outage. So server will be accessed by multiple peoples. Okay. On top of the server also, we will host couple of applications. So if server is going down or server is getting compromised, so just like that, we should not go and we should not do the network isolation or containment. So first we have to analyze the business impact analysis. So in case if are doing the server is a network containment or isolation, so what is the business impact? So is there any outage issues? Is there any availability issues? And so on. If it is end user system is getting compromised, nothing but only one person or one end user or one employee is trying to get compromised. In that scenario, even if you are doing the network isolation or containment from the LAN, so there is no problem. Only one person is going to impact. But server side, so multiple people or multiple users or multiple applications going to compromise, impact. So that is the reason whenever any alert is receiving, first and foremost, you have to identify whether it is the end user system or whether it is a server. If you know about these model numbers, then only we can classify whether it is server or system. Okay. So these are all servers. Coming back 2008. 2008 is a EOL or EOS. When you say EOL and EOS, completely end of life. So EOL full form is end of life. And EOS full form is end of support. So end of life and end of support, that is nothing but it's a legacy server or old server. Microsoft vendor itself saying that don't purchase this particular model number. It's already obsolete. It's already obsolete. Okay, we are not providing any patch updates to 2008. In case if you are using 2008 server in your organization level, so please upgrade to 2012 or 2016 or 18, 19 or 21. Most of the organizations will not do these things. Why? Because they will think about application compatibility issues, performance related issues, and so on. They will use very legacy servers, very old servers. So if you are using very old or legacy servers, vendor itself does not provide any patch updates. If you don't do the patch updates, obviously it's a weakness. So once attacker is identifying that particular weakness, he will compromise our systems. So always we have to do patch updates up to date. Up to date. That's a part of vulnerability assessment or vulnerability management. So who will do all these patch updates? Patch updates will be done by respective vulnerable, Windows admin team or sysadmin team or Unix server team or Linux server team and so on. What is our role? Identifying the weakness and generating the reports related to vulnerabilities and raising a ticket and assigning the ticket to respective Windows team and Linux team. So that is our role. Okay. So 2008 is a EOL and EOS. There is no more, okay, Windows support or Windows patch updates are provided by Microsoft. 2012, 16, 18, 19, 20. So for these model numbers, Microsoft is releasing the patch updates. It's not is okay. It's not legacy servers. Okay. So and also Microsoft vendor, it is there is no end of life as well as end of support. Meaning here for these servers, so Microsoft is releasing the patch updates. Okay. So this is completely obsolete. So that is about Microsoft servers. Coming back to Microsoft Windows operating systems. So on the end user side, so example Windows XP, Windows Vista, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 8.1, Windows 10, Windows 11. So whenever in the alert notification, if you are identifying this one as a impacted system, so that means it's one of the end user system. That system may be, so example, laptop, or maybe workstation, or maybe desktop. So according to this one, we can conclude that it is one of the end user system. So you should be aware of Windows XP and Windows Vista. We are not at all using. It's very old. So now Windows 7, Windows 8, 8.1, 10, 11. So these are all the latest Windows operating system versions. So example one is the phishing email. It is coming to Windows 7 as a IP address is 10.10.10.1. That means phishing email attacker is trying to do one of the phishing email attack to one of the end user system. In the similar way, one of the ransomware attacks got compromised to 2012 server. 2012. Okay, IP address is 172.16.1.1. That means ransomware is got compromised with Windows Server. So this is the way we can identify whether it is an end user system or server. Okay. So this is the identification based on the operating system wise. So that is about overall Microsoft related. So coming back to Unix operating systems.
Sir, here I have one question, sir.
Yes, please.
Here, server means multiple clients will connected to, right?
Yes.
If one of the server is compromised by the attacker, then that users systems is also compromised or not, sir?
No, it will not compromised unless otherwise attacker using lateral movement. Okay, lateral movement. Once we are discussing about attacks, we will come to know. So once the server is getting compromised, that doesn't mean that all the end users will get compromised. Only connection will be established. Messages will be exchanged. That's it. Okay. So, okay, if server is getting compromised, the end user system will not get compromised. It is giving request and response is coming back. That's all.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So yes, you are right. In case, okay, so lateral movement, if you are using lateral movement, okay, so lateral movement through networking protocols, if one server it is getting compromised, through that particular server, attacker has a chance to compromise other systems as well as servers also. That we can discuss part of network and cyber attacks. Okay. So next one is Unix operating system. Unix operating systems. Under Unix, we have different types of classification related to Unix. One is CentOS. Second one is Red Hat Enterprise Linux, RHEL. Next one is Debian. Next one is Ubuntu. Next one is Feroda. Next one is SUSE. Next one is Docker. Next one is container. And so on. So these are all the couple of Unix operating systems. So now everywhere Kubernetes, and so on. And also cloud, everywhere cloud and so on. So on top of virtual machine or on top of physical server, we'll create virtual machines, either VMware using ESXi or NSXi, or maybe directly Oracle VirtualBox. Additionally, on top of virtual machines, we'll create a container. On top of container, Docker will act as a service. Physical server on top of that one, virtual machines. On top of the virtual machines, we'll create container. On top of the container, Docker will run as a service. So this is the overall process. I'll explain in-depth analysis of vulnerability management. Okay. CentOS is one of the, okay, so mostly usable Unix operating system. As compared to CentOS, nowadays, every organization, they are purchasing Red Hat Enterprise Linux. It is very popular one. So it is very popular one. So under RHEL, we have different types of, okay, operating system versions under RHEL. So RHEL 1.x, RHEL 2.x, RHEL 3.x, RHEL 4.x, RHEL 5.x, RHEL 6.x, RHEL 7.x, RHEL 8.x. Latest one is RHEL 9.x. Okay, so 1.x meaning here 1.1 or 1.2 or 1.3, 1.4 to up to 1.9. In the similar way, so RHEL 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4 and up to 2.9. Okay. So next one is RHEL 3.x, 3.1 to 3.2, 3.3, 3.4 and to 3.9. So up to RHEL 1.x to 7.x, everything is obsolete. Not 7.x, 6.x. So all these are completely end of life, EOL, and also EOS. So RHEL vendor itself, they are saying that don't use any RHEL 1.x or 2.x or 3.x up to 6.x. Because already these servers are got compromised. These servers are got end of life. So RHEL vendor, they are not releasing any patch updates. So 7.x also, it is going to expire by 1 second. It is going to end of life in 2024, December 31st. So that means another 1 year, it is going to Okay, end of life. So till that time, they will provide the patch updates. So now we have to migrate 8.x and 9.x. We have to migrate 8.x and 9.x. These are all completely new servers. These are completely new servers. So same concept is applicable to CentOS also. CentOS 1.x, 2.x, 3.x, 4.x, 5.x, up to, okay, so 8.x and 9.x. Okay. So that is about difference between Red Hat and also Microsoft. So I will give one of the example. In my previous organization and also in my current organization also, so we are using 6.x and 5.x also. I will give one of the practical scenario. So many microservice based applications. So in my previous organization, in my current organization also, it is running on RHL 6.x and 5.x. That is long back EOL and EOS. 2020 itself EOL and EOS. But still, we are using RHL 5.x and 6.x. So there are a lot of vulnerabilities are existing. Why? Because vendor itself not doing any patch updates. So vendor itself not providing any patch updates. Our patch management team not doing any patch updates. Why? Because vendor is not providing. So whenever we are going and we are discussing about the risk and so on, so we will contact application development team, product development team, so data science team, machine learning team. You can migrate all these 5.x, 6.x servers to either 8.x or 9.x. As a security person, we have to provide the risk assessment. What is the impact? And so even we have to educate them in case if you don't upgrade this one. So these are all the critical vulnerabilities are existing. But even though a lot of series of the meetings we are conducting to the application development team and product development team and so on, they will say, so we will not do the upgrade now. Okay, so what is the reason behind this one? So reason behind this one is, so we have application compatibility issues. In case we are upgrading to 8.x or 9.x, we are not sure whether application is working fine or not, stable or not. Okay, so this is the way every time lot of conflict of interest will occur. When you say conflict of interest, so in between our security team and also application development team or product development team, so conflict, argument. We will say, please upgrade. They will say, we have application compatibility issues. And also we have a lot of other priorities are there. We have to deliver so many other features. Okay, we will not worry about this one. Finally, we have to sit together and we have to educate them. And finally, we have to resolve this issue. Okay. So this is the way how the organization practically in our day to day. So they will work on. Okay. So
Sir,
whoever is going, yes, please.
here up to 1.x to 6.x.
Yeah.
Life and you said that. What traffic, sir?
I'm sorry. Could you please repeat?
What is the traffic? Then what is the issue?
What is the issue meaning here? Vendor already, I mean, develop a new hardware. Already vendor is develop new hardware. So according to new attacks, new vulnerability every time. So this product development team, RHL is obviously product development company. So they want to add new features to the product. They want to add new libraries. They want to add new packages according to trending technologies, according to market wise. So if you are using existing one, it's a 1.x, whenever 2015 they are developed. If you are using now, so whether whatever in 1.x they developed the features, whether it is sufficient for the trending market in 2023, no. That is the reason every time. So Red Hat Enterprise Linux or Microsoft or IBM or HP, so keep on, they will develop the new product. Example, maybe you can consider Apple Mobile also. So why they are developing and releasing every time new product? Because of the features point of view. Initially, maybe Apple 1.s, 1s, now Apple 14. So once again, next year they will release Apple 15. So because they want to add new features. So that is the reason. So these vendors, okay, so they will make sure that so new features should be added in the existing hardware itself. Is it clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, mainly for the feature point of view, hardware development point of view. Additionally, trending technologies, whatever it is there, those trending technologies can be deployed in our hardware or not. So this is the way how these product development companies will think. Example, you can map with your Apple, or you can map with Samsung, or you can map with Motorola or Redmi and so on. Okay, so that is about Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Okay, so nowadays, as I said, it is one of the very popular used operating system from the Docker and container point of view. Even Docker and container also they will use Red Hat Enterprise Linux only. They will use Red Hat Enterprise Linux only. CentOS doesn't have that much features point of view. So Debian also it is becoming popular, and Ubuntu as well. But as compared to all these, so Red Hat is very popular one. From support point of view, from features point of view, from hardware development point of view, and so on. So that's why now once again, from past 2 to 3 years, Kubernetes came into picture. So Kubernetes now they are making like a serverless configuration. Not sure how long it will work and whether really it will help full or not in future. Let's see. Even I don't have that much idea, but I worked on a couple of projects related to Kubernetes. So that is about Unix operating systems. So these Unix operating systems, whenever any alert is coming, so as I said, every organization will use all these different types of operating systems. So whenever any alert will come, so based on the operating system version wise and also firmware wise and IP address wise, you have to classify whether it is a end user system or server. So in-depth analysis, I'm going to discuss part of vulnerability management. So we have separate topic is there, infra security, there vulnerability assessment. There we will discuss in-depth analysis, sys benchmark, and so on. So that is about Unix operating systems. Next one is email server or SMTP server. So SMTP server also called as email server. So this is also called as a XN server. This is also called as UCS server, unified communication. So this is also called as O365 or Office 365 or Outlook. Give me 1 second. I will join my office call. 1 second. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So Office 365 and also Outlook 360, Outlook also Outlook. So Gmail also very popular. Couple of organizations they are using Gmail also, but unfortunately, as compared to Microsoft, okay, so Google is providing less features. Not only just on the features point of view, even security point of view also. Okay. So that is the reason every organization they are purchasing Office 365 Outlook. So what is SMTP server? So SMTP server can be used to send an emails and also receive an emails. So you know already port number is 25. So port number is 25. Every email contains couple of important parameters. Anyone? Every email contains couple of important parameters. What are those?
SPF,
Source and destination.
SPF,
DMARC,
DMARC,
DKM,
DKM,
and
written path,
written path.
written path.
body of the content.
Yes, body of the content. Yes. Header analyzer.
Header
Header
analyzer.
analyzer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
header analyzer.
Yeah.
These are all the couple of important parameters every email contains. Okay. So I already told you how to open the email and also how to check where is the original content of the email, where we can go and we can verify in the Gmail.
We have to open the email and click on the
Okay.
three dots and show.
Okay.
Right side 3 dash, show
Show
original.
That's perfect. That's correct. So I will open one more mail. My Outlook email I will open and I will show you. Give me 1 second because confidential. Give me 1 second. I will open my Outlook also. Give me 1 second. So I'm taking risk and I'm opening Outlook. So just you can see here. Are you able to see Outlook email?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in Gmail, in Gmail, you have to open 3 dots. After opening original email, in 3 dots, we have to open and we have to click, and after opening that one original email, we can see. In the similar way, if you want to see header analyzer in Office 365 Outlook, where we want to go and see, so we have to open the email. After opening the email, so you can see one of the arrow mark middle of the email. Are you able to see here arrow mark? Message options.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this arrow mark you have to click. Once you are clicking on arrow mark, so internal headers. So this internal header is belongs to our header analyzer. Original body of the content of the email. Everything it will be there. So why I'm showing this one practically? So couple of times for phishing email investigations, interviewer will share his screen and he will say, so explain what can you do in this scenario, or how can you do instant investigation, and so on. So in such a practically they will ask. Are you getting what I'm saying? In couple of interviews, interview panel, they will share their screen and they will put in front of you as a interview guy. So then they will ask, explain about phishing email investigation. In this scenario, what will you do? So this is the way they will open. First of all, you should understand, okay, where is the header analyzer? Without knowing the header analyzer, entire body of the content, how can you proceed and you explain? You have to give now instructions. Now you have to give instructions to the interviewer. Okay, open the email. Okay, please go to, okay, so middle of the, okay, so middle of the arrow mark, wherever tags are there, click on that one. So this is message option tab. Once you are clicking on this one, so we can see header analyzer. So take this entire body of the content as a header analyzer and go to MX tool. Go to MX tool. All these instructions you have to give to the interviewer. Now interviewer will take care of this one. So now you can click on analyze header. Once you are clicking on analyze header, copy paste here, whatever you copied, and click on analyze header. Click on analyze header. So this is the way how you have to explain to the interviewer. You have to give the instructions and interview guy, okay, interviewer. So he will take care of the overall. Okay, so where to go, how to go. You have to give the instruction to him. Now, why they will ask this type of scenarios, whether really you are aware of practical scenario or not, whether you are a legitimate guy, or whether a real guy, or whether a fake candidate. So this is the way normally they will ask. In that email, once again, in that email, so not only just a header analyzer IP address, we have to, any URL link is there. Take this URL link, take this URL link, and after taking URL link, so we have to give right click. Okay, click on the right click, URL link, copy URL link, copy hyperlink, and go to URL scan or virustotal.com. So go to virus, please go to virustotal.com because we have to give respect to interviewer. So click on URL and copy paste the URL link and enter search button. So this is the way how we have to give the restrictions. Sorry, instructions. So we will discuss in-depth analysis in future because one of the very, very important interview question is phishing email investigation. Regularly they will ask. Regularly they will ask. So coming back now, yeah, once again we can discuss in future. Now you are aware of, right? Where can we see header analyzer in the Outlook? Where can we see header analyzer in the Outlook?
Yes.
Where can we see header analyzer?
In tax copy.
In middle of the screen.
Middle of the email
Yeah,
under tax tab, under tax,
Down arrow.
message options. Yeah, message options. That is down arrow. Okay, so this is what you have to remember, guys. So this is important. Whoever is working officially or professional work, I mean, already whoever is working people, they are aware of this one, but couple of people doesn't have the Outlook, right? So that's why I'm providing this option as well. Okay, so that is about where can we see header analyzer in the Office 365 Outlook. Now coming back, I will provide the definitions now. SPF.
Sender policy framework.
Sender policy framework. So what this sender policy framework will do? Sorry guys, I'm in an office call as well simultaneously, so that's why. Sorry. So sender policy framework. It is an email authentication protocol. Sender policy framework. How we can define this one? It is an email authentication protocol. So what it will do? It will prevent cyber security phishing emails. Phishing emails from phishing attackers. So it is an email authentication protocol. So what it will do? It will prevent cyber security to stop phishing emails. So who will send the phishing email? From phishing attackers. So not only that one, even it will provide additional information like, so whoever is a part of the organization, example, you and me are part of same company like Wipro. So on behalf of me, you can send an email. But attackers, it's not possible. Unless otherwise, they will compromise the credentials. Okay, I'm repeating once again. Maybe you are in emergency condition or emergency situation. You forgot to put the out of office reply. Now, on behalf of you, I can open your email or Outlook in my computer or in my laptop. So then I can put the out of office reply because I'm using same domain. Because we both are in same domain. So that how is it possible that we're using sender policy framework? So if attacker is trying to do on behalf of you, it is not possible related to spoofing part. So spoofing can be eliminated by using sender policy framework. Spoofing can be eliminated by using sender policy framework. So this SPF, what it exactly to do? It allows it allows our company to specify who is allowed to send emails on behalf of your domain. So on behalf of your domain, so who is allowed persons? So that is sender policy framework. Using sender policy framework, we can achieve this particular process. So if example, maybe you are part of Wipro. So if you are using TCS email ID, can we send it? No, it's not possible. So how we are reaching that particular option? Using SPF, sender policy framework. So that is the first one. So mainly why we have to enable this one? To eliminate phishing email attacks. To eliminate phishing email attacks, we have to enable sender policy framework. The sender policy framework always should be pass. Pass. If it is failed, we have to suspect. Next one is DMARC. DMARC. Full form is domain message authentication receive code. Domain message authentication receive code. So it is an authentication protocol. This one is authentication method. It is an email authentication method. So nothing but it will authenticate. So what exactly it will help? So DMARC will help admin status, email admin status, prevent hacking, and also spoofing. Okay, spoofing as well as also, okay, so for email administrators, it can prevent the phishing email attacks. It is authentication method. This authentication protocol, it is authentication method. This is authentication protocol, this authentication method. Okay, that is the main difference. So whenever any attacker is trying to change the phishing email spoofing address, so in that scenario, attacker can't send it. So maybe day after tomorrow or 2 days later, we will discuss about spoofing category. Now, once we are discussing about spoofing category, then you will come to know on behalf of the attack end user or impersonating the end user, the attacker will send the mail and he will gain the response. If you don't enable DMARC policy, so attacker can easily hack our systems via email. So this is email authentication method. So this is email authentication protocol. Next one is DKIM. Domain key identification mail or message. So it is also protocol once again. It is email protocol. So what exactly it will do? It will allow companies to take responsibility as well as accountability and accountability for transmitting of a message. By signing certificate. So meaning here it will use public keys and private keys. Whenever any email coming, so that email we have to, it will use. So certificate, so that certificate will exchange public key and private keys. So once you are, it is cryptographic, basically cryptography. So that means in between sender and recipient. So these keys will be exchanged, and even attacker is trying to see the data in the transmitting stage. If it's a plain text, attacker will see the whatever data we are sending. Okay, so if it is in plain text, if it is in plain text, attacker will see. But if you are using keys, so that keys between you and me only, sender and recipient. So it will exchange the keys. So whenever we are saying keys, nothing but always we are entering the password. Once we are providing this particular password, so if even though attacker is trying to compromise our email, he can't read the data. Why? Because so that particular email is encrypted. Example, you can see in our WhatsApp messages also, in between two different users, end-to-end encryption. End-to-end encryption. How is it possible that end-to-end encryption? Between one person, one end user of the WhatsApp guy and also other end of the WhatsApp guy, one end of the one end of the one end of the user of the WhatsApp and the second end of the user of the WhatsApp. In between these two, so WhatsApp, it will exchange the keys, public and private key. So everything should be encrypted. It will provide confidentiality. It will provide reputation. It will provide the authenticity. It will provide authorization, and also it will provide privacy. So these are the couple of things will be provided. So in future, we'll discuss about SSL TLS mutual authentication. So there you will come to know all these. So DKM is mainly for the, so to encrypt the data, to encrypt the message using certificate or certified authority. It's like a digital signature. It is like a digital signature. Okay. So that is the main difference between sender policy framework, DMARC and DKM. So next one is written path. Written path. Written path is always equivalent to anyone. Written path is always equivalent to,
Sender mail ID.
yeah, sender email address. Perfect. Written path is always equivalent to sender email address. So meaning here, written path email address showing as x.y@wipro.com, and okay, written path is showing as, okay, so x y.z @ okay, so wipro.com. That means mismatch will be there. So whenever this mismatch will be there, then we have to suspect that one is a phishing email. I'm repeating once again. So sender email address is x.y@wipro.com, and written path is showing as y.z @ wipro.com. So here mismatch will be there. In that scenario, we have to suspect that one as a phishing email. So then we have to do investigation. Always written path equivalent to sender email address. Written path equivalent to sender email address. Next one is DK. DK means domain keys. So these domain keys will be used by certificate. So part of DKIM, domain key identification message. So in between sender and recipient, these keys will be exchanged using trusted certificate authority, using digital signature. Okay. So that is domain keys. So private and public keys. Private and public keys. So that is about domain keys. Okay. So last one is header analyzer. This header analyzer also called internet header. Internet header. So this is entire body and also total entire email. Entire email in the form of HTML language. So that is called header analyzer. So we have to take this header analyzer and we have to verify sender policy framework is pass or fail, DMARC is pass or fail, DKM is pass or fail, DMARC authentication pass or fail, and so on. Okay. So if I want to show practically, give me 1 second. So Google security alert. This is one of the email. So I open this email and I will go to show original. So this is the entire header analyzer. This is the header analyzer. Okay. And this is our sender email address from. This is the recipient email address. Subject is security alert. Sender policy framework. It's authentication protocol. It can prevent phishing email attacks from phishing attackers. DKIM, digital signature will be there. It can prevent, okay, so any data leakage. DMARC. So DMARC is authentication method. So this one also will prevent phishing email attacks from the phishing attackers. Okay, so these technical terminologies, we have to do investigation. So example, you can copy paste an entire email. Header analyzer. Then go to MX tool. Click on analyze header. Paste here, analyze header. So this is open source tool. In this email, now you can see DMARC is compliant. Sender policy framework is aligned. Sender policy authenticate is passed. DKIM is passed. DKIM is authentication is passed. Now everything is passed. So according to this one now, what we can conclude, whatever email I received, it is not a phishing email. Okay. If any one of the, okay, DMARC or SPF or DKIM is something is passed, then we have to suspect that one is a phishing email. We have to do IP address validation. We have to domain validation. We have to validate header analyzer. Even we have to validate. Okay, so URL link in case any malicious URL is there. So even we have to validate malicious malware attachment. Okay, so don't worry. Okay, we will discuss all this in part of incident investigations. So that is about overall SMTP server.
Sir,
Okay. Yes, please.
sir, here attacker is send a phishing email to our account.
Yeah.
But in that show original option, the SPF, DKM, these are all showing pass. How we can identify, sir? We have to go to MX tool like this or what, sir?
This is open source tool in case if you are using any commercial tools. So we have commercial tools are there. Every organization will purchase commercial tool also for phishing email investigations. Example, Proofpoint, and also then we have Cisco Input, Mimecast, and Office 365 ADP or Defender. So these are a couple of tools they will use. So if you don't want to use this one, then directly we can go to commercial tool and we can validate all these parameters.
Here, these tools is to identify whether it is phishing or not, right?
Yes, correct. Yes, right.
But in that email, that attacker will send a phishing email to in our Gmail account.
Organization. Yes, correct.
Yeah. Then SPF and DKM, DMARC shows here pass.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, them.
It is passed, but even though it is passed, we have to verify from our side. Even though we have to verify our side, these two are completely based on signature. Maybe you have question, whatever email I am receiving, what is the link with MX toolbox? So these open source tool always, okay, so will update their database. So they will report couple of people also. So MX toolbox R&D team will be there. So that particular team, what are the new phishing domains are coming? What are the new phishing IP addresses are coming? What are the new phishing URLs are coming? What are the new phishing malicious malware attachments are coming? So up to date, they will update their signature, their database. So that is the reason whenever you're copy pasting here, it will pull and it will match the existing signature and it will so give the results, whether it passed or failed. According to this manual investigation, we can conclude whether it is phishing email or not.
Here, what I am thinking, it is original email from the company.
Yep.
The SPS, DKM, DMARC, these these all are things. This parameter will show pass
Mm,
here only in the CML only.
mm,
If it is a phishing email,
mm.
these parameters will show fail. Like this,
Yeah.
I think in that.
Yes,
in
that
that-
no. It's not like that. Sometimes, even though it's showing as a pass, it will show here. Okay, so fail, it will appear here. So fail appear here. But so always we should not trust tools. So we should not trust emails. We should not trust our Outlook and so on. So that is the reason we are doing manual investigation. I understood what your question you raised. Okay, now everything is pass, 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 and so on. So it's not a phishing email. We conclude it's not a phishing email. Couple of times it will show fail and also fail here. So it is a phishing email. So it is not like that. So whatever Outlook is giving or whatever Gmail is giving, maybe it's wrong. So that is the reason we have to go and we have to verify from our side in our email gateways or in our open source tools whether really that is phishing or not. Clear or not?
Yes, sir. That is what my question is.
Yeah. Yeah, I understood whatever question you raised. So based on these fail and fail, we should not conclude it is a phishing email. After doing investigation, then only we have to decide. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that is about overall servers. So these servers is not a mandatory every organization has to maintain. These servers is not a mandatory every organization has to maintain. So it depends. It depends based on their budget. Maybe they don't want file server. They will not. Okay, so configure file server. So they don't want. Okay, maybe. Okay, so Active Directory. They don't. So they don't want maybe. Okay, example SMTP server. They will configure Outlook. So this is, but most of the organizations they will use all these servers. Okay, so server will provide so response to all the end users or services to the end users. So those services, we whatever systems are receiving, we can call clients. Clients will receive the services from the server. Okay, server will provide the services to the clients, and clients will receive the services from the server. Okay, single server will provide so many services to the multiple clients. Okay, so all these clients will receive these services from server. So that is maybe server and client. Server and client. So next topic is network architecture diagram. It is very, very important, guys. You have to always keep this network architecture diagram in your mind. Always this network architecture diagram in your mind. So before our class has been started, so I was drawing this diagram. So I was drawing this particular diagram. So there are three different types of zones will be there. So this architecture, this pictorial representation of the architecture diagram is called as a network architecture diagram. Pictorial means picture. Okay, this pictorial representation of the architecture diagram. This is applicable to data center. Even this is applicable to cloud as well. Even this is applicable to cloud as well. So I will write here itself under other servers. I will write network architecture because otherwise I have to make so many sheets. Network architecture diagrams. It is a graphical or pictorial representation of how the network devices are deployed in the data center or else in the cloud is called as network architecture diagram. Okay, way to configure what type of devices in one of the picture point of view. So that picture we can call it network architecture diagram. Okay, so now you can see. So there are three different, this is called internal servers, critical servers. So this is internal or critical servers. Critical or internal servers. So I will assign one of the IP for this one 10.10.0.0/16. So this is server LAN. So critical server, critical means it's very important to our nation. It's very important to our nation. Example, Active Directory, DNS, DHCP server, file server, email or SMTP server, database server, app or web server, SIM tool, EDR tool, and so on. All these are critical to the organization level. Even SIM tool or EDR tool also I'm putting as server. It's a tool. We can also call it server. So that is about, okay, critical or internal server zone. Server zone. So this is one of the LAN. This is called server LAN. So this server LAN. So up to here, you can see before proxy, everything is like your house. Everything is like your house you can consider. That's what I told you. Whenever we are discussing about any architecture diagram or any firewall topic, please remember your house. So consider this is your internal house. This is called as internal or trust. So this internal or trust up to proxy. Up to proxy is internal or trust. It's a very critical to the organization level. So this AS means access switch, CS means core switch, NADS, NAPS meaning here network intrusion detection system, network intrusion prevention system. Then proxy is also called as a web gateway. Proxy is also called as a web gateway. And next one is firewall. Firewall will deploy in the DMZ or DMZ wall, like your fencing, or maybe your wall, or maybe your gate in front of your house. Okay. So this is completely outside of the zone. We can call it as a untrust or external or public or internet. So there are 4 names, but better you can use always untrust and trust. That is the technical terminology. Okay. So untrust, external, public or internet. This is also called WAN also. WAN also. So ISP router and internet is completely public. So hackers will sit here only. Attackers or hackers will sit in the outside of the organization. So this is similar to like your street, in front of your street or road. So this is like in front of your street or road. Okay. So firewall will sit in the DMZ or DMZ. So total 3 zones will be there for every organization. One is internal or trust. Second one is DMZ or DMZ. Third one is untrust or external or public or internet. So I will write that one. 3 zones. So 3 zones is, one is internal. So this is trust. Second one is DMZ or DMZ. Third one is untrust or external or public or internet. So Cisco is provided couple of score from hacker point of view. Cisco company is provided couple of score from the hacker point of view. So think this one is like your house. So what is the trust score you will give from robber side, thief side? Think this is like your house. So how much score you will give out of 100? So from robber side and thief side, anyone? Out of 100, how much you will give? This is your house. Out of 100, how much score you will give for this entire your house? Am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
I am asking you. So consider in your house, if any robber or thief is coming to steal your furniture or money and so on, will you accept? From trust wise, how much score you will give? Out of 100.
70.
70. That means the remaining 30%. Okay, so thief, they will come and they will steal your furniture and your money. Why you are putting CCTV cameras? Why you are putting security guard in front of your house? Why are you arranging dog and so on? What is the reason?
For security purpose.
Yeah, security purpose only. 100 out of 100. So will you lose your furniture or money? So we have to give 100 out of 100. from trust point of view. Now DMZ or DMZ. DMZ or DMZ, how much score you will give? It's like your wall or fencing. So half of thing is there on the street and half of thing is there in your
50%.
50-50. You are right. So 50-50. Trust wise 50 and trust wise 50. What about last one?
0.
0. Yes. So we can't control our hackers. Can we control hackers or attackers or intruders or thieves or robbers and so on? We can't. Okay. So it's a 0. So this score is given by Cisco company. Cisco firewall. Cisco firewall is given. So that is Cisco terminology. Okay, if you're going for Cisco company interview, so then they will ask this one. So next one is, so this diagram looks very simple, but it has a lot of meaning. It has a lot of meaning. So what is that we are going to discuss now? So now this is hacker or attacker or actor and so on. So this actor or attacker or hacker or intruder, they will try to compromise all of our servers. All these are end user systems, guys. So LT means laptop. So all these are end user systems. So this attacker maybe try to compromise this laptop or MacBook or workstation or desktop, or maybe they want to compromise our servers. So critical servers are sitting in trust zone. Non-critical servers are sitting in the DMZ or DMZ zone. You can say non-critical. It is not important to the organization level. So that is called non-critical. Non-critical. So it is facing to the internet. So first and foremost here, so this is server security. Whatever security control we are providing to these critical servers or non-criticals, we can call it as a server security. So what is server security will provide? Vulnerability assessment and vulnerability management and also hardening benchmark. Okay. For critical non-critical servers, so we'll provide server security. That server security depends on several parameters. One of the features is vulnerability assessment. So this is also called as infra security and also hardening. Hardening meaning here, couple of configurations we have to enable that we can discuss later, part of vulnerability assessment. So for critical and non-critical servers, we'll do vulnerability assessment and hardening. This is one of the portion only. So that is also called infra security. You can see all the end user systems are there and all the servers are there. All the end user system and all the servers. We'll provide with security. Anyone? For all the end users and all the servers. All the end user systems and servers. Which security will provide?
Web application firewall.
Web application firewall. End users. End users. Laptop, MacBook, workstation, desktop. All the servers.
EDR.
What is that?
EDR.
EDR, that's correct. Endpoint security, guys. Endpoint security. It's a course content. Whatever course content I given initially, we are discussing that one only. So what are the example solutions? Antivirus or EDR. Next one.
Anti-malware.
Anti-malware. Next one. Next one.
DLP,
DLP.
file integrity,
File integrity monitoring. Last one.
Firewall.
Firewall. Windows firewall will enable, not on the perimeter level. Next one.
app control,
App control part of firewall. EDR, app control is a part of EDR also.
SIM tool.
SIM tool overall monitoring. Dedicated to endpoint security we are discussing now. Dedicated to systems.
HIDS and HIPS.
HIDS, HIP is perfect. Any other? Last one. Encryption. 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 So this is data at rest. Nothing but your disk encryption. Disk encryption. Take example your laptop itself. You are traveling from so and so place X to Y, source to destination. Example Vijayawada to Hyderabad. In that scenario, you are bringing laptop along with you. Unfortunately, you slept in that bus or train, whatever it may be. So suddenly you woke up, and unfortunately forgot to take your laptop. Somebody catch or caught your laptop. So even though they don't know the password, if they will dismantle your laptop and they are taking hard disk, they can see every data, whatever is sitting in your hard disk. Even though they don't know username and password. But if they're taking hard disk, they can take and they can read your data by putting that hard disk to another computer. But if you are providing disk encryption at a resting level, when you say data at rest, meaning here, whether disk will move from one location to another location? No. Whether data will move from one location to another location? No. So this is called data at rest. Today, entire question, guys. What are the two different types of encryptions we have? One is a data at a rest. One is a data at a transit level. Data at a transit meaning here, one of the email, sending email from one location to another location, one user to another user. It is moving from one location to another location. And you're accessing one of the website or you're downloading one of the file. It is moving. Okay. So that is called data at a transit. So there are two different types of encryptions we have. One is a data at a rest. Example is database encryption, disk encryption. Data at a transit level. Example, accessing the website, accessing the server. Okay, so downloading some of the files and so on, sending an email, all these are data at a transit. Transit means transfer level. Okay, so whatever encryption we are providing to end user, okay, disk, that is called disk encryption. Even database encryption also will fall under this category only. So that we can see later. So that is about endpoint security. So far we covered, okay, server security and endpoint security. Next you can see this one is network security. So under network security or perimeter security, network security or perimeter security. What are the solutions will come as per diagram? Anyone? As per diagram. Which is perimeter here? Perimeter meaning internet facing, guys. Internet facing is called as perimeter. So what is which device is internet facing here? Firewall. Firewall is a internet facing. Along with firewall, we have two more other devices will fall under perimeter security. Anyone? Anyone as per this diagram? Network security tools or solutions?
NIDS, NIPS.
NIDS, NIPS. Next one.
Proxy.
Proxy, that's correct. What is proxy another name? What is proxy another name? What is proxy another name?
Gateway.
Web
Web.
application
Which
firewall.
gateway? Web gateway. Okay, so this is very first topic, guys. There is no need of confusion. You can go and see course content, endpoint security, network security, first class, very first class. Are you going to are checking whether I am covering every topic or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So next one. So that is about network security. Network security also called perimeter security. So next one is called network three-tier architecture. Network three-tier architecture. So yesterday we discussed one of the topic is called application three-tier architecture. What is application three-tier architecture? What is application three-tier architecture? I said this is one of the interior question for application developers and product developers also. What is application three-tier architecture?
User control.
User layer,
User layer,
logical layer,
logical layer.
database layer.
That's correct. That's right. So same thing, network three-tier architecture contains three different types of solutions. These three. firewall, proxy, network IDS, network IPS. Every organization, as per security best practices, it's better to implement these solutions. As per ISACA, as per ISC square, as per European Council, and so on. Okay, so this is called network 3-tier architecture. Couple of interviews they will ask. So you are joining in a company, you are the first person. It is like a greenfield site. What will you do? As a security engineer. I'm repeating once again. You are the first person is going to joining in my company. After joining a company, first 1 month, what will you do? It's a completely greenfield site. First of all, what is mean a greenfield site? 1 minute by greenfield site. Greenfield site meaning here, there are no solution at all. Only building is there. It's an empty building. Empty building. So in that empty building, all the security solutions we have to implement. Okay. So after joining in a company, I will do gap analysis. As a security analyst or security engineer, or maybe, okay, so network security person and so on. First and foremost, I will do gap analysis. What are the existing security solutions are there? Where we want to achieve. In the endpoint level, I will implement all the solutions. In the network level, I will implement all the solutions. So in the cybersecurity level, I implement SIM tools. In the application security, I will implement web application firewalls. In the cyber security side, SIM tools. In the server security side, vulnerability management. In the cloud security side, all the cloud security solutions. This is what you have to give the answer. This is like architect level question. But even though they will ask, okay, so for security analyst as well. So that means you should be aware of entire course content, whatever we discussed. In the endpoint level, these things I will implement. In the network level, I will implement these things. In the application security, I will implement this one. Server security, I will implement this one. Information security, these policies I will implement. Cyber security, SOC, I will implement. Okay. So that is about network 3-tier architecture. Next one is application security. As per this diagram, which one is application security solution? Anyone? Application security solution? Anyone? Where is application security solution is implemented here?
Internet.
So far we completed here. Firewall, server security, endpoint security, network security. So these three are completed. Next one. Application security.
Firewall.
Which firewall?
Web application firewall.
Web application firewall. That's perfect. So WAF. So WAF is a device or solution. It can prevent against OWASP top 10 layer 7 or application layer attacks. Very first long back in the definitions I provided. So if you want to mitigate any layer 7 attacks or application layer attacks, we have to use web application firewall. It's nothing but application security related issues. Along with that one, in SDLC lifecycle, each and every phase we have to implement the security. So that we can discuss later. So next one, email security. Where is email security, guys? Email security. Which location email security will fall under? Email security.
Email gateway.
Email gateway. That's perfect. Email security. Email gateway meaning here, it will act as a, so it will act as, whenever we are referring gateway, it is another mediator or bridge or broker. Okay, so that is called gateway. Gateway meaning a bridge connecting two different types of devices. Gateway means here bridge or maybe, okay, so broker or mediator we can call gateway, right? So email gateway will act as a, okay, so bridge between external phishing attackers to internal SMTP server or email server. So email gateway will act as a, so bridge or gateway between phishing email attackers from external wall to internal SMTP or email or Exchange server. That is called email gateway. Then what is web gateway? Web gateway will act as a bridge or gateway between internal users and application. Web means applications. Applications. So email gateway normally will deploy in the perimeter level, in the DMZ or DMZ zone. DMZ or DMZ zone. Why? Because most of the attacks nowadays, 60% of the attacks are coming through phishing email only. That is the reason email gateway we have to implement the DMZ or DMZ in the perimeter level itself. Okay, so that is our email gateway. Okay, so to monitor entire all the network, we can call it as anyone. To monitor entire network, all the servers, all the databases, all the applications, all the cloud, all the network devices, all the endpoints, all the switches, routers, all the emails, everything we can call it as anyone. Entire thing monitoring we can call it as
Firewall.
firewall.
Next
No.
generation.
SIM tool.
SIM tool, that's correct. Cyber security. So monitoring of all the endpoints, databases, servers, non-critical servers, applications, cloud, infrastructure, okay, printers, network devices, okay, emails and so on, 24/7 into 365 days, each and every second. If we want to monitor, we will use cyber security SIM tool. So this particular network architecture diagram, even though it looks very simple, it has a lot of meaning. It has a lot of meaning. Except cloud security, except physical security, it is covering everything. Except physical security, except cloud security, it is covering everything, including information security also. Risk assessment, we have to do on the endpoint level, we have to do on the network level, we have to do on the application level. So physical security meaning CCTV cameras and so on. If this is the building, yes, it will cover physical security as well. And your applications are migrated and storing or deployed in the cloud. So even cloud security also it will cover. So whatever network architecture diagram we are discussing, this is applicable to same as it is even in the cloud also. Now, so couple of definitions I will give you. Inbound traffic. Inbound traffic. So inbound traffic meaning here, example, this particular network architecture diagram is belongs to Infosys company. Infosys company. Now, you are a student. Example, you are a student. You want to apply one of the vacancy in Infosys. You want to apply one of the vacancies in Infosys. In that scenario, you are sitting here. So you are public now. You are applying one of the job vacancy. This one is completely Infosys company. You are sitting in the public or internet. In whenever you are trying to access Infosys careers website. So obviously career website where it is located, anyone. Infosys career website where it is located, anyone. In this diagram.
Trust zone.
Trust zone, what is the server name? Infosys career website. Which server? Which server?
Application database.
App or web server? App server, application server, web server. Now this student or maybe person is trying to apply any job. In that scenario, it will come to internet, internet to ISP router to Infosys firewall, Infosys firewall to proxy of the Infosys, proxy Infosys to NIDS NAPS, NIDS NAPS to core switch of the Infosys, then core switch to access switch to app web server. So here that application infosys.com/careers. So this traffic is coming from external to internal. So this traffic we can call it as
Inbound traffic.
inbound traffic. That's correct. Inbound traffic. So the traffic is coming from Untrust to trust zone is called as inbound traffic. So now outbound traffic. Example. This Infosys employee, example laptop or MacBook or workstation desktop, these are end users. This Infosys employee, they are trying to access Google. Where Google is sitting now here in this entire architecture diagram? Internet zone. Example here. So Google is sitting in the Google here. It's outside or untrust zone. So now this particular user, they are trying to access Google. So example laptop he is using. From this user, it will go to access switch. Access switch, it will go to DNS server. DNS server, it will go back to core switch. Core switch to NADS, NAPS, NAPS to proxy, proxy to firewall, firewall to ISP router. Then it will reach to the google.com. So the traffic is going from trust to untrust is called as
Outbound traffic.
outbound traffic. Yes. So combining together, we can call it as
Net flow.
net flow.
Flow.
Yes. The traffic is going away from trust to untrust is called as outbound traffic. So combination of these two, net flow data, sum of the both incoming plus outgoing or inbound traffic plus outbound traffic. The sum of inbound traffic and outbound traffic is called as net flow data. If you are using HP routers and HP switches, what we can call it as? If you are using in our organization HP routers and HP switches, what the flow
Yes.
we can call it as?
Yes, flow.
What about Juniper switches and Juniper routers?
J flow.
J flow.
What about Avaya routers and Avaya switches? Avaya routers and Avaya switches.
Y flow.
No, net flow only.
Okay.
What about HP routers? Sorry. What about Aruba routers and Aruba switches? Net flow only. Except HP and also so Juniper J flow and also HP is S flow. Remaining all other routers, all other vendor routers and switches we are using, we can call net flow only. So what is SIM tool? First of all, what is SIM tool? What is SIM tool?
To monitor all these things.
First thing, monitor is the last thing. What is the first thing?
Log collection.
Log collection.
Log collection. You are right. Log collection. Not only computer recorded activity or actions, whatever endpoints or users or databases or applications or servers or cloud or network devices it is doing. Even we have to integrate net flow data also in the form of IP packets. We have to integrate logs as well as network traffic also in the form of IP packets. Please remember this one. So traffic also we have to integrate in the form of IP packets. Even we have to integrate so logs as well. So that is SIM tool. So next one is defense in depth. Defense in depth. Give me 5 minutes, I will complete. Defense in depth. Defense in depth. Defense in depth is like a layer approach. Take example onion. Onion has multiple layers. Onion has more than one layer. It contains onion, right? In this similar way, defense in depth. Depth means so many layers. So many layers. Example, any attacker is trying to do hacking part. Firewall is the entry point. If firewall is bypassing, first layer of the firewall is bypassing, second layer of the proxy will come into picture. If second layer of the proxy is bypassing, third layer of NADS, NAPs will come into picture. If third layer of NADS, NAP is bypassing, fourth layer of EDR or DLP or HADS, HAPS or file integrity monitoring, it will block. So that defense in depth layer or layer approach is called as defense in depth. If one layer of the approach is bypassing second layer, if second layer is bypassing third layer, if third layer is bypassing fourth layer, and so on. So that layer approach, we can call it as defense in depth. So how we can define this one? It is a layer approach. If one layer of security control is bypassing means attacker will bypassing second layer will prevent. If second layer is will bypass third layer. If third layer is bypassing, and so on. So this layer approach, we can call it as defense in depth. Nothing but multiple controls we have to implement. So that is called defense in depth control. Okay. So next one is DMZ or DMZ zone. DMZ or DMZ. So this DMZ or DMZ is entire question, guys. Not only that one, even defense in depth also, these two. So DMZ or DMZ. So DMZ or DMZ full form is demilitarized zone. Demilitarized zone. So what is mean by demilitarized zone? This word came from military. So example, in between Pakistan and also India, or in between Pakistan and India and Afghanistan, or Kazakhstan and India, Kyrgyzstan and India, and so on. So how our army people will act as a military or border basically. So they will act as a border between, so they will sit in the border basically in between India and Pakistan. Similar way, DMZ or DMZ zone will act as a border between trust zone and untrust zone. So DMZ or DMZ will act as a border between trust zone and untrust zone. Non-critical servers and non-critical applications we will deploy in DMZ zone. So that is about DMZ or DMZ. Okay, entire question, guys, this one. What is DMZ? Not only just explain about full form, you have to given this particular full, definition as well. So this one is acting as a boundary between or border between trust zone and untrust zone. So here non-critical servers or application will host it. It is not critical to the organization level. Not important, not that much important.
Okay. Here non-critical server means database zone, sir.
So it's not about like that. So that data is not important to you. So non-critical doesn't mean that it's a database server. Even couple of database server data also important. Example, whenever you are selecting for any company, you will enter PII data. What does mean PII data? Personal identifiable information. Example, your first name, your documentation of the, okay, so your education documents, your salary slips, your offer letter, hike letter, appraisal letter, okay, your PAN card, Aadhaar card, everything you will submit to HR team. Whether the critical data or non-critical data. Whether critical data or non-critical data. Critical data. So that critical data we can store in the trust zone. Some of the non-critical data will be there in the organization level. Example, every quarterly once, finance data we have to submit to public. So we can see quarter one, TCS has got too much of the profits. Quarter two, Infosys got very hike. Quarter three, SBI Bank got too much of profits. Quarter four, HDFC Bank got too much of profits. So once that particular, okay, so results of the finance, they are completely, okay, so revealing to the public. After reveal to the public, that is like a non-critical data. Before revealing, it's a completely critical data. After revealing, it's like a non-critical data. The non-critical data we can put in the, okay, so this particular zone now. So first we have to classify the data. It is not a joke for classifying the critical data, non-critical data. So we have to think about confidentiality. We have to think about sensitivity. We have to think about internal data, external data, private data, restricted data. So it is collective together of different teams. Okay, so collaborating at coordination. According to that one, we can do the data classification. So that we can discuss later. Part of DLP. Part of DLP. Okay. So non-critical applications, public application, everybody has to access. It is not important to the organization. So that one also we can deploy in the DMZ zone. So this is entire network architecture. Okay, so we can represent in one of the pictorial or graphical representation. Every organization will follow this structure only. Even though couple of companies, they are not implementing these perimeter 3 solutions, all the EDR solutions are endpoint security solutions, all the SIM tools or all the server security, application security, and so on. As a security consultant, as a security architect, as a security engineer, you have to provide all these solutions, guys. It's like an architect role. It is like an architect role. Okay. So please remember this one. Always you have to keep in your mind this one. They will ask in different ways. Where can we deploy firewall? What is the answer? Where can we deploy firewall in the organization?
In between trust zone and non-trust zone.
In between trust and non-trust. Okay, that's fine. That means
DMG zone.
that's fine. Okay, so what else we can give? That is also correct. What else we can give? A particular answer, perfect answer. You are right. I'm not saying you're wrong.
To monitor that inbound traffic and outbound traffic.
No, where can we deploy? I'm not asking function or feature. In between proxy server and ISP router in DMZ zone. In between proxy and ISP router in DMZ zone. Where can we deploy NADS, NAPS?
In between firewall and NIDS and NVPS.
I asked NADS, NAPS only.
Core switch and proxy, sir, sorry.
Yes, that's correct. In between core switch and proxy. So that means you have to remember this diagram in your mind. Then only you can give the answers. Otherwise, okay, we'll give the wrong answers. Inline method. In future, we'll discuss about inline method, promiscuous mode, and also span or mirror method. Span or mirror method, copying of the data is called span or mirror method. We'll do under the switch. Inline method means in between two devices. Inline means in between two devices. That is also called a promiscuous mode. All these are implementation level, guys. Architecture level. Whatever I am discussing now. So that we can discuss later. Okay. So that's all for today. Please go and read this one, this particular diagram, what I will do. So I will do snipping tool. I'll put under the diagrams. Network architecture diagram. So that's all for today. Do you have any questions, guys? So tomorrow I will start. So till today, what are we discussed? All these are networking concepts. From tomorrow onwards, what are we are going to discuss? So completely security portion. Completely security portion. Tomorrow onwards, please attend the class. So these are very, very important. Whatever attacks we are going to discuss, around 40 to 50. Those attacks only we will work on the instant investigations. Okay. So that will take approximate 5 days. 5 days. So once that one is completed, I will start endpoint security. So do you have any questions? Sorry for taking so long. Okay, please go through the today. Okay, so today itself I will upload the video. please go once again tomorrow morning. If you have any queries, you can ask in the tomorrow evening session. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, sir.
Good night.